welcome to all our Tea Time viewers from JP Greens at Greater Noida. I'm Chaiti Narula, and in the next half hour we will be in conversation with the CEO of Shriram Automall, a 100% subsidiary of Shriram Transport and Finance Company based out of Mumbai.
On the show this week, we have Malhotra, CEO, Shriram Automall India.
In the industry, we have seen the downtrend, which is more than 2.5% reduction in the overall size of the industry. But particularly, light commercial vehicle is going up, which is a good trend.
In news, Ryan Moore wins CIMB Classic in playoff, and Shiv Kapoor finishes tied 16th at CIMB Classic.
Welcome to Tea Time.
Hey Chaiti, how are you doing?
Good. So, golf is a CEO sport. Is that why you took up golf?
Not exactly. I thought it'll give me some refreshing air.
Now that you've just teed off, let's tee off on the transport landscape in this country. The transportation landscape in this country continues to remain fragmented in nature. Out of the fragmentation, there are a lot of trends that are conspicuously evolving. Which is the most interesting and conspicuous trend for the year 2013 in the transportation industry?
Overall industry as a whole has gone down. If you really see, we have seen the downward trends.
Right.
But there are some of the positive signs which has come up. I can talk about first the positive. We've seen there's, especially in the commercial vehicle segment, light commercial vehicle segment is growing up. So which is basically last point connectivity, which you can see in the rural and semi-rural areas, where exactly the demand is going up. And that is because the purchasing power of people going up in those areas. Plus, if you see multinational companies, they are entering into those areas, which is increasing the demand. And that's where overall demand for these areas is going up. And which will help the industry as a whole. If you see the light commercial vehicle industry, and which is 25% plus has gone up. And as compared to medium and heavy commercial vehicle industry, which has gone down, which is close to 15% downtrend we are seeing.
Interesting.
So overall in the industry we have seen the downtrend, which is more than 2.5% reduction in the overall size of the industry. But particularly light commercial vehicle is going up, which is a good trend. Then we go into the passenger cars. The first time we have seen the car industry has gone down after 10 years, and that to close to 7%, which is a very high number. We feel industry will stagnate at this stage, at this point of time. We have to see a lot of improvements in the government policies. We need to see the inflation has to settle down. We have to see interest rate has to be much more lower, which is from the present levels. And all this will help the overall growth in the infrastructure and vehicle industry, or overall demand in the people consumption powers are going down. So those things have an effect on the industry.
Now the used commercial vehicle segments in which you particularly deal with the most continues to do well. But having said that, we have seen added stress levels over the past 1 year. Do you think these are likely to continue, and what would you attribute these to?
I feel used commercial vehicle industry will definitely is the right positioning is right for us.
True.
Why? Because even if in this sector at this point of time people don't have much money powers, they don't want to spend money.
Right.
They also don't want to take risks. So when they don't want to take risks, this is the best possible option for them to take something used, which saves them the capital cost, and they can still use the vehicle and then run for the project, and when they feel the downturn is over, they can start going and buying the new. So used vehicle industry is not going down. In fact, we are seeing the positive trends for us. We are seeing more and more people are jumping into this. They feel the idea is good, they want to buy more. Every segment is different. Commercial vehicle is different, passenger car is different, two-wheeler is different, three-wheeler is different, construction is different, and tractors are different. We are into all those segments at this stage. So they have different stories everywhere.
Interesting. On that note, let me tee off and we'll continue our conversation. given the abysmal utilization expectations amongst the fleet operators, will the additions in the MHCV segment remain muted over the next 1 year going forward?
Yeah, that's what we feel now. The way industry is growing, the way a lot of patterns we can see, it doesn't
Right.
show much of the hope at this moment of time. Unless a major change comes and new policies come, and we see a lot of impetus on the growth and a lot of new industrial policies, mining sector policies changes, some new consumption stories start. Unless those things happen, it's very difficult for MHCV this segment to grow at this point of time.
So what does your outlook remain for this segment over the next 1 year?
I feel that it will remain as it is. It has to be at the same level. In fact, if you see last 2 months, there's a negative trend. We already see it's going down by more than 11%. The last 2
Right.
months compared to last year, if it stays, it's stable at the same levels. We should be happy as an industry.
On that note, it's time now for us to take a quick break right here on Tea Time. This transportation industry, yes, continues to remain fragmented, but what holds the fort in this industry is, of course, Shriram Automall, a subsidiary of Shriram Transport and Finance Company. We will remain in conversation with the CEO on the other side of this break as well. Take a quick break. We will see you on the other side.
There is nothing which is hiding. So in front of him, auction starts, people bidding, and whosoever is the highest bidder, he takes away.
Brilliant. Welcome back. We're still in conversation with the CEO of Shriram Automall, a 100% subsidiary of Shriram Transport and Finance Company, Samir. Now, the objective behind which Shriram Automall was launched, it's a 100% subsidiary of Shriram Transport and Finance Company. You launched with an objective to bring in more transparency, get rid of old and unreliable systems in vehicle trading as well. How much are you on track with that, and how do you differentiate yourself from the peers?
It's quite a challenging assignment, but we feel, because it's quite an interesting story for us so far. We are going in the right direction. It's a lot of work to be done. It's a totally untapped market, and a lot of people are not aware about what is right, what is wrong in this industry. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to educate the market, what exactly the right practices, how they can use our services, what kind of practices we have. Top of it, there's a lot of learning for everyone. People are still learning the way which we do. There are different steps what we do, which bring a lot of transparency in our operations, which makes us different from our peers.
Are you seeing that shift, and are people responding well to the new transparent and organized mechanism in which vehicle trading takes place in your company?
We are happy what we achieved so far, but definitely we see we are top of the world. No, we as the market is, we are just 2.5% of the market as
Right.
on this stage.
Right.
If you really see the total market put together, which is into commercial vehicle, which is into passenger cars, plus tractors, construction equipments, two-wheelers and three-wheelers put together, which is the segment we are into presently.
Right.
It's a 150,000 crore market. Used market is so big, and this totally untapped. There's no player in the country who's tapping all the segments together. We are the only player who's entered this segment now, and we're trying to tap as much as possible.
How discerning is your consumer?
They really see whether the price levels are right, the vehicle conditions are right, from which place they can buy these vehicles. So those are different factors they take in mind when they take
Are they educated is what I'm asking.
so
Are the
that's what
consumers well educated?
we have 4 ways of helping our customer to buy or sell. First and foremost, we bring them into physical mode, where we collect a lot of people and a lot of vehicles from different people who want to sell. They come there, and then there is the competition and there is a transparency. So people compete on that. There's a bidding happens, and person who pays the highest price, he takes away the vehicle. But there's a transparency, because he has a choice. Second, he sees the vehicle in front of him. He can run, he can check, he can start, he can check all the vehicles papers. Top of it, finance is available. So he has a choice to buy, and the competition is clear. So there is nothing which is hiding. So So in front of him, auction starts, people bidding, and whosoever is the highest bidder, it takes away.
You know, I'm going to come to your online bidding process as well, and of course the physical bidding process as well in just about a bit. But before that, your vision. Your vision is to become #1 in the country. Are you on track with that?
As we had just begun, this 2 years back, we had a definitely good growth. We had 35% growth year on year.
Right.
This year also we feel we are on the right track. We'll be growing. We are adding up new and new segments because that's where we can be the only player who have captured all the markets. So we started initially 2 years back with the commercial vehicles, and then side by side we started onto tractors and construction equipments.
Right.
Then in February we launched our online portal by which we are entered into two-wheelers, and now we are going aggressively into passenger cars. So all the segments one by one we are tapping up. Initially we gone into banks and finance companies to get our supply.
Right.
So they were the major supplier for us. Then we slowly gone into the big fleet owners, and now we are into retail segment. So slowly we gone into all the segments one by one.
So now the latest initiatives at Shriram Automall. You've got Shriram One Stop, you've got Shriram New Look. How are they panning out for you?
We had again an interesting story in Shriram New Look, where we started with helping a lot of people to dispose through us, where we were taking the risk on the price levels.
Right.
But we found that's not the business we want to be into, and we concentrated into creating more of refurbishment facilities.
Right.
And now we are more into services. So New Look team of ours do a lot of refurbishment for people who want to sell their vehicles, and they help them to make it a much more better condition.
Right.
Secondly, New Look team also has created a lot of expertise in knowing the vehicle because of their knowledge about refurbishment and all that stuff. So with that, we have created another team which does a lot of valuation. So we created expertise within us because we're selling day in, day out now. So once we are saying selling, we know a lot of prices, what are the price levels at different cities, what are the price level for different models, for different years, different conditions. With that, our New Look has created expertise into valuation. So we doing two services through New Look. One is refurbishment, second is valuation for the customers.
Right.
As far as One
Shriram One
Stop
Stop.
is concerned, we started this concept close to 4 or 5 years, even before Shriram Automall was constituted. It was under Shriram Transport Finance and called under Truck Bazaar.
Right.
And a lot of learnings have come from there, and finally it was found that this is the right thing, and we created a virtual Truck Bazaar now. We have more than 500 kiosks. It's like an ATM where customers can touch, and this is based on intranet, not an internet. They go to our offices. We have in 500 branches of Shriram Transport Finance. This kiosk has been put in.
500 kiosks for
Shriram One Stop.
One Stop.
And we have anytime more than 15,000 listing of vehicles over there. Somebody want to sell, those listings are over there. So people go, it's more like a classified business. People go, touch, they feel, they want to see something. We arrange the buyer and seller to meet and get the transaction done.
Lovely.
So we do more than 10,000 transactions that do month on month, every month now. So it's a very interesting business for us so far.
On that note, it's time now for us to take a quick breather on tea time. Samir and I will see you on the other side, and we will discuss more in detail about Shriram Automall and their tie-up with the SBI as well. Stay tuned.
We are totally a niche market, which is totally new market. We are doing a lot of tests and new services we are launching, and we learn with that. Sometimes we are right, sometimes we are wrong.
Welcome back to Tea Time. I'm Chaiti Narula. On this segment, we'll focus about Shriram Automall and their tie-up with the SBI as well. So SBI tie-up was primarily driven for you to get more farming clientele as well. How's that panning out for you? Was that the objective because of which you tied up with the SBI?
Yeah, we thought because SBI being the largest bank in India and has a lot of penetration in the villages, they have the largest branch network in the country. So with that, we are definitely helping out for us to reach to those customers,
right,
and increase the business for us for the farm equipments. In fact, we are now trying to talk to not only SBI, we are almost talking to every private sector bank and international bank and public sector bank, trying to tap as much as possible in these segments. In fact, some of the private banks we already signed up, international banks we already signed up. Public sector bank, this was the first bank with the SBI which we started, but other banks are in the pipeline, and slowly we are walking and talking to every bank in the country.
How are you as a company helping SBI bring in faster collection transparencies and efficiencies?
Being a transparent mode of auction, what we do, we have a different modes, and because we are having all clarity, all paperwork in place, we also have all kind of customer segments which brings the best possible prices. We also help into creating all kind of paperwork. You have all kind of IMIS systems been created. So anytime you want to see what is happening on your stock, we want to see what is happening, whether we have proper legal framework, we have done the transaction or not, whether we have proper sale prices have been achieved, whether the people who are buying, they are satisfied or not, they got the right paper, they got the right services. So all those things, being an organized player, we can only provide. And that's what companies like State Bank of India and any other public sector or private sector or international banks are looking into.
Now, along with, of course, the bidding process and the online bidding and the physical bidding, you almost provide a virtual marketplace for people to come and transact in used commercial vehicles as well. How does that process work?
We started with the physical format, and we found there are a lot of customers who have not been able to come on in the time of physical. They are already busy, they already have some other job to do, or they are busy in running the truck or doing something else, so they can't come to on the date when we announce the auction. So we found, okay, there is another solution for them, which we created one stop, and they're already doing the virtual truck bazaar.
Truck bazaar. How does that function?
It's quite interesting. We are increasing our business. From last year again, we grown up by more than 40% in that business. They're already walking into the branches. They are sitting in their own cities. We are in 500 locations. So close to 500 cities we are providing these solutions. So once they walk in, they don't have to go anywhere else. They select something. They have a lot of choices out of it. Out of the choices, they can see what is best fit for their needs, and then they take it from there. And the people who are slightly internet savvy, we also launched the internet auctions, which is our online bidding process, and that also is creating a lot of better price levels, because somebody sitting in Hyderabad now can bid assets lying in Delhi. So that's bringing more competition and better prices for our sellers, and also the right price levels for any asset which is less demand in, suppose, in North India, but has a better demand in South India. So through the online mechanism, everybody has become one market throughout the country, and everybody can participate, everybody can buy out of it.
It's interesting to know that apart from trading, you're also providing a whole host of fleet management services as well, that includes insurance, transportation, everything. What is it in that umbrella that you provide for in terms of fleet management?
We started now with the documentation services, that's first. So because any vehicle which when you buy, there is always something or other need to be done from the RTO point of view. So that's the first point. Second, we also started now providing the parking services. So a lot of fleet owners, a lot of banks, finance companies, rental companies, they want to park their vehicle. And we are the only company pan-India who has this network of our automalls, where a lot of parking spaces are available. Third is the finance. So we have Shriram Transport Finance, which is always available in every auction.
Which is your parent company.
That's true. And they're always available in every auction. They have their own booth. Then we now have a general insurance and life insurance also. We have created different policies depending upon customer needs, both for general insurance as well as for life insurance. So that's been specific for the customer needs for this industry. Those policies have been framed, and that's been what we are providing services to our customers. So that's the full services.
So you made it a one-stop shop for all your used commercial vehicle segments as well. You don't really need to look anywhere else. Now coming back to your game of golf, I believe you started a few months ago, isn't it?
I found golf being a very interesting game, and some of my friends pushed me to come in, and I found how it related to my business now.
Lovely.
We are totally a niche market, which is totally new market. We are doing a lot of tests and new services we are launching, and we learn with that. Sometimes we are right, sometimes we are wrong, and we're learning with that. We just keep on moving on that. The same way I play golf now. I learn, I make some right shots, some wrong shots, but I continue, and same way I'm learning for the business on the same.
Tell me, which player inspires you the most?
For me, Tiger Woods, and in Indian, Jeev Milkha is which I do, then Mr. Buller. Buller I follow sometime. These two players from India's side, I inspire me quite a lot because India never been a golf country and they're playing international, they're winning a lot of tournaments. That inspires me. Yeah, we can.
Will Shriram Automall look at also hosting their own corporate golf challenge, considering that now the CEO has taken up golf? I think that's the next best thing to do for Shriram Automall, isn't it?
Too early to comment on that. But I've seen one of our associate company, which is Take Solutions, as
right. They have a corporate golf challenge.
Yeah, they recently
it happens right here at JB Greens.
Right.
Actually,
Plus, they've taken, I think, and a lot of companies gone to Dubai for the final tournament. They were the main sponsor, so that's part of the associate for the group. But
associate network.
Right.
And you're a man who's a globetrotter. Did you start golf in India, or did you start at any of your travels overseas?
I think I missed all those times because when I was traveling internationally, which was mostly in my earlier assignments,
right.
I was almost every month I was traveling a couple of times. There was no time. I was always going and work and then come back. There was airport, office, assignment, meetings, customer, and you come back. And now I realized there were so many good golf courses. My colleagues were there and I used to go with them, but I never been inspired much at that time. But now I feel I'm there, and I'm even within India when I'm traveling, whenever international I'm traveling, I'm trying to find some time, trying to go to the nearest golf course and trying to spend some time. So now I'm on the track now at this stage.
Well, absolutely. We're on track with our game as well. Let's finish it. Come. All right, Samir, thank you so much for joining me on Tea Time.
Pleasure mine.
That's a wrap from Samir Malhotra and me, Chaiti Narula, on Tea Time. I will see you next week again. Until then, enjoy the flight of a good drive, and may the sport be with you.